Well, howdy, rascal.
Hoodie cares for you.
And hopefully can be a friend.
Yay, I gotta say, these words and the words about Jews is not the words of a samurai, of a great man. I would say, you said something that inspired, that resonated with a lot of people when you said George Bush doesn't care about black people. I have to say, as somebody who cares for you, that Ye, the artist formerly known as Kanye West, doesn't care about Jewish people. In the same way you spoke about George Bush being a politician and not giving a fuck about the poor people that suffered after Katrina, you're not giving a fuck about the suffering of the Jewish people across the world.
Why am I not?
Because you're giving strength, motivation.
But we already updated. I gave an apology. You said it wasn't good enough.
Yeah, that's right.
Now you're telling me, no, I'm not gonna.
No, you don't need to kiss anyone's dick. What
you're asking me to kiss.
You have to say it was wrong to say. There's no Jewish media. There's no Jewish.
There isn't.
There's no control of the media by Jewish people.
You're an engineer, brother. If you're an engineer and you're not holding to the truth, that's not engineering.
Engineering is not. That's not. That doesn't. That's hate. That's not engineering. Engineering.
Here's the situation. All right. Jews are overrepresented in positions of power and authority, but then let's open our eyes a little bit, and think for like 2 or 3 seconds and think, hey, guess what? They're also overrepresented in positions of competence. And it's not like we have more geniuses than we know what to do with. And if the Jews happen to be producing more.
I object to that point.
More of them, which they are, by the way, then that's a pretty good thing for the rest of us. So let's not confuse competence with power and authority, even though that's a favorite trick of the radical leftists who always fail to make that distinction. Well, why does this overrepresentation occur? Because it does. There's also overrepresentation in political movements, including radical political movements. Okay, why? Well, answer 1, Jewish conspiracy. Okay, that's not a very good answer. We've used that answer before. All right, but do we have an alternative? Well, here's an alternative. The average Ashkenazi IQ is somewhere between 110 and 115, which is about 1 standard deviation above the population average. And so what that means is that the average Ashkenazi / European Jew has an IQ that's higher than 85% of the population. That's a lot higher. Now,
hey everybody, welcome. Red Pill, Joseph, Magic, good to see you. I finally remembered the fake video of Kanye they made back. He's a Kanye that they made back after they lost his contract. Well, the thing is this.
Hey there, I'm Chad the Alcoholic, and the creator of the Friday Morning Nameless channel. I'd like to welcome you to join us for the latest and greatest and most up-to-date information about all the things happening in this corner of the internet. I want to thank you for your time and your attention.
Sorry, I had to get the dice and the cat was on my lap. Welcome. We're gonna do some savings throws versus mind control. I don't know, when I went to make this stream, I was very angry and I was trying to destroy the channel. And like in the interim from making the thumbnail and getting here, who knows where we're at. But savings throws work like this if you're new here. You get to choose between survival, social, wisdom, or heart to base your saving throw on. So that's your die. Whatever one I hold, you choose heart, and then I show the green one. You're like, oh, that's mine. And if it's over 10, then you take half damage from the mind control that follows. And if it's not, you're going to be fully swayed by my persuasive ways or whatever. Choose survivalists. 5. Hope you got your bonus. Whoa. Socialists. Very, very good. Very good. Nat 20 there. And wisdom folks, though. 13. Lucky you. And heart folks. Boom. Look at that. Another nat 20. You're doing great. Chad should be in bed, my lord. But he released one today that I will find a part of now that triggered the so Peterson's going full Ashkenazi supremacist now, eh? Maybe it was damn it, Chad, which one was it? You put out so much stuff. I don't know what the hell this was. Like, is that Ralph Waldo Emerson? What even is that? What even is that, Chad? Oh, hold on. See, he's only got 339 subs. He's way underrated, except there's Where's Waldo stuff sometimes. But usually it's really good stuff. Oh, this is the one that didn't come with a notification because he puts out so much.
Negotiate very carefully with your wife or with your husband on an ongoing basis every week, every moment in some sense while you're, and most importantly, to act out, to take on that responsibility, right? To confront the transforming horizon of the chaotic future, the unpredictable chaotic future, all that infinite potential there. That's where the infinite and the finite meet, right? On the horizon of the future. And to chart our course forward, guided by the better story. And as Jews in Israel, are you telling the greatest story ever told? Well, you decide that by how you live. And that decision will affect the world because everyone looks here for one reason or another. It's not so easy to understand. Everyone looks here to see, well, how are you actually doing under this tremendous...
I'm reacting. This is fair use because I am reacting. This is the reaction clip thing.
Assault of adversarial criticism as this little tiny people in the middle of no man's land in some real sense, as a, what would you say, cardinal model of the nation state and the city on the hill. You have a tremendous moral responsibility like you have perhaps for your entire history for reasons that are very difficult to understand. And I think it is true in some real sense that the fate of the world depends on the decisions of the people of Israel, just as the fate of the world depends.
I was trying to cover that up, and you guys clapped too soon.
Just as the fate of the world depends on the decision of every individual. So you make yourself a shining light on the hill, right? You attract people here because of what you're capable of doing. You show the world what the holy city could look like.
There, you had to reach for it, bro.
You need it, and it's up to
you had look at it. You had to reach for it.
the holy city could look like.
That didn't, man.
The list? Yes, any of the first level ones.
I'm gonna get a soda. Anyone want one? Hey, Graham, I'm not in the room, right?
What room? I want to cast magic missile.
The room where he's casting all these spells from.
He hasn't cast anything yet. I am though, if you'd listen. I'm casting magic missile. Why are you casting magic missile? There's nothing to attack here. I'm attacking the darkness.
You know, it's a little rusty, but I can understand quite well. And And the woman telling me the story didn't speak much English, so she told me the whole story in Spanish. And she told me that last April, she had a dream. And this dream was very impactful. She woke up after it.
This might well be the first video I ever used the night cave in.
She had called her mother. And in this dream, there was a very tall man who looked very white and had a big white beard and just was very big and very loud and very white. And when she came into church and when I stood up to preach, she said, "There's the guy from my dream. I dreamed about this man." Now, so you want to know what the dream was. It's a very interesting dream. So, and in this dream, and making these little molds, these little wooden molds. And I was just using this electrical saw to make these little wooden molds. And then the power went out and everything was dark. And I told the people, don't worry, the saw will keep working. And the saw did keep working, even though the power was out and it was an electrical saw. And I kept making these little wooden molds. And well, what were these little wooden molds? Well, in these little wooden molds, we would basically put light. And so I was giving these little wooden molds to the people of the church and sending them out as light in the darkness. That was the dream. So make of it what you will. One of the real
And I asked her, who is Jordan Peterson? What is he doing? Which is something I'd really like to know as well. And she responded with crystalline clarity, quote, "Here, he is here to invoke and initiate the divine masculine principle on earth at this time."
Winter is the season of recursion, and there was no stream this afternoon because I had a series of. Honestly, tonight it feels like I'm meeting the cast of the new. I met the cast of the new season today. There's a alchemist from Mount Shasta, and I don't know. There's others. But some people don't like to meet publicly, and some people don't care. I thought the first one was one of those, but it wasn't. But we didn't record, and we'll probably do another thing. It was too. You guys would have been lost, I'm sure. Right. I'm going through like this deconstruction video that came out yesterday. It seemed very helpful for people. And so I thought, and I didn't go over the Woke Water ISIS set, but I thought maybe I'd go through and find ones that were small and actually helpful and like maybe do a playlist of them. And some of them the thing about cozening indigo is you don't get to remember it most of the time. But if you live stream while you do it, then you can go back and find it.
So I'm up here to thank you deeply.
Oh my God, welcome, Nameless. Never said anything in chat before. Or in a long time. Hey, Kai. Maybe I remember somebody named that.
And profoundly on behalf of the Great Mother herself, the goddess, the divine feminine principle, who has been eagerly awaiting the awakening of the masculine principle into divinity and service. So,
that was the title of that video. So, because that was from 2018 when he was on his Bible lecture. And has the divine principle been awoken to service? This, once upon a time, we did an instantiation of the thing I call the blind elephant game. And it goes like this. there's a, oh, see, I should have had an image ready to do.
Well, howdy, rascal.
So Chad has figured out that I don't make any of those, and I just use the ones that people make for me. And he started making these weird hypno ones that you're going to need your savings throws for. We started, the blind elephant game goes like this. There's this story about these 5 blind guys, sometimes it's 6, and they're all really wise, but they can't see for nothing. And so they've never seen an elephant. And so they go to see one, and they all go see him together. And like one of them feels the nose, and he's like, oh, it's a snake. It's because the nose of the elephant is like a snake. And then the other one feels on the leg, and he's like, oh, it's a tree, because it's like a tree, yada, yada. So blind men groping an elephant trying to figure out what it is, except the elephant is an abstract concept like divine masculinity. And instead of blind guys, it's blind guys, you know. And anyway, and here's part of that, how it went.
Because the spirit
maybe it's a
intuition to kind of move out of a comfortable spot and to move into a kind of like what Satori was saying, a creative place where they have to even wrestle with creating something anew, or in the same way that,
and it was so gropey and fumbly. I really thought that that there would be comments that people would leave saying what divine masculinity was to them, but no. Here's me in part of it. Up to and including the point of self-sacrifice in what it takes to secure the borders of the garden and nurture that there within. There's also gotta be the putting of the difference between a boy and a man, the resistance to the desires, the self-control. You have to be able to eat a lion as the divinely masculine. That's totally a Gospel of Thomas reference, Grim. I know.
Jesus said to them, very truly I tell to you, again, that's the amen, amen, the intensifier. It is not Moses who has given you the bread from heaven, but it is my Father who gives you the true bread from heaven. Now, again, notice the confusion and the disagreement. This is like born from above or born again. I've come down from heaven, not to do my will, but to do the will of him who sent me. And this is the will of him who sent me, that I shall lose none of all those he has given me, but raise them up in the last day. Sir, always give us this bread. Notice again, truly I tell to you, again, that's the amen, amen, the intensifier. It is not Moses who has given you the bread from heaven, but it is my Father who gives you the true bread from heaven. Now again,
that was a little bit of an artistic piece, because like it was just one of Pastor Paul's things, and like right after he said, "It's my Father that gives you the true bread from heaven," that dude needed help, and I was touched, but no elephants. Oh, there it is. Remember, Embody.
There is no agency. We want
what's best. Oh, and like this. I would share this. Well, first exit, then share, then full screen. This was Not people missed this, but there was this weird song Jordan Peterson kicked out, and I didn't miss it. And it had the black sun I saw when I was poisoned with psilocybin, and so it was significant to me. And then later he confesses in his conversation with Dawkins that he saw DNA and his mushroom trip. So I was, a clip thing. The most successful video on my channel, or one of the most, is Jordan Peterson's creepy prayer. And he hasn't released anything that creepy until now, when he has released this song here. It's super creepy. It's super creepy. I think you can find it, but I just wanted to bring it back into public consciousness. Divine masculinity is hard but yielding, strong but flexible, energetic but focused, light but dark. It reminds me of a bunch of opponent processes, kind of, okay? And I think, and as I didn't realize it until I was watching Karen and Sevilla's talk that just came out, but all those opponent processes in combination probably looks like a dream catcher, like, the visualization thereof. This one is called Bingo Oracle Vidya, and I don't remember it at all, and so I was just curious. It might be horrible.
And we pretend rather often to take the third person science side off the gold standard of first person experience and say, okay, well, that's really, the mind may be an illusion, maybe even consciousness is an illusion. What we know is happening is there are brains that are processing information, and we've got things like synapses and neuromodulators and neurotransmitters, and that's the real stuff, right? That's the reality. This mind part is some kind of
right. That's a definition, not an observation.
It's just like a tissue of confusion.
By reality,
right?
And that's a big problem.
Yeah, there's no, you can't.
So this is the flipping back. Well, maybe, and it's always one side. The idealist basically starts with mind and says, well, maybe the material world is a function of our perception. And the materialist starts at the bottom and says, well, maybe the mind, our experience of agency, is an illusion. And Sam just keeps flipping back and forth. You're going to have to, the goal is to try to figure out how they connect together. It's a very hard thing. We don't.
Oh, look at the old one. Look at the old one. That's from OBS. Wow. It's classier now, thanks to that darling.
We don't have it.
Banish the side which is in fact cashing out so many of your claims about the nature of, in this case, the brain. But that's not to say that we can't be deep.
At this point, I'm just trying to figure out why I called it the Bingo Oracle video.
Deeply mistaken from the first person side about what our minds are doing. I mean, so, as we've,
the thing that almost never gets stated is that our apprehension of the third person always comes through the first person.
They're best nudged as close as possible to the empirical trash heap called the occult, and left to that anti-empirical crowd that indulges in astrology, tarot cards, the I Ching, and the like. If seeing is believing, then hypnosis and trance should be impossible. But since they do exist, what you have is an empirically observable case of empiricism being overthrown. The irony is that there are times when the culture actually fosters trance and hypnosis to further its purposes. The theater is a form of hypnosis, so are movies and TV. When you enter a movie theater, You know that all you are going to see is 24 shadows per second, flashed on a screen to give an illusion of moving people and objects. Yet despite this knowledge, you laugh when the 24 shadows per second tell jokes, and cry when the shadows show actors faking death. You know they are an illusion, yet you enter the illusion and become part of it. And while the illusion is taking place, you are not aware that it is an illusion. This
made it. You're here to try to understand why you made it. Because you didn't come here to make the choice. You've already made it. You're here to try to understand why you made it.
A little long on the front, a little too much Sam Harris. And I've since learned you got to add 10 seconds of nonsense at the end just so the cards can be there without.
Looking for beans. What?
There's a. Oh, well, no. Golly. There's the notion that, like, there's the process that doesn't often happen. That is, I take a live stream and then I chop off the unnecessary parts, circumcise them, if you will. And then I call it the Briss edition because that's like BE. And then if I throw clips in that sliced up version, it's a Kintsugi cut. Here's a Briss edition that actually came out, parts of it.
But even is this image? Well, this is considered funny for a few reasons. For starters, it takes a phrase used frequently, me and the boys, and then subverts the direction of the joke that you would, as the reader, suspect. It adds.
Hey, everybody. That gave me a little clips, ophrenia.
And so I think our capacity for genuine reverence makes us qualitatively important to disclosing the possibilities of something like the world soul. I don't typically use that word, but I'm using it because you introduced it, Michael. Like sometimes this actually happens to me. I really love cats now. I used to think of them as land sharks with brains, but now, right?
What is the truth? And what are you laughing at?
Looking for beans. Beans existed for a brief time as the universal funny word. In the early 2000s, the funny word was potato, and so the use of the word in the food itself and images inherently added an air of randomness to catch the reader off guard.
I used to say eyeball when I lived in Hawaii.
And evoke a sense of humor. The image itself, being frightening, adds a sense of edginess, while the poor quality, in fact it's completely unrelated to the caption, creates a sense of rebellion to the standards of modern humor. Which brings us to our next topic.
Not only does it just say sad, but Petcow just asked in the chat if I saw a thing, and I have not. Well, I'll give you a wrench if you drop me a link. How's that? We sometimes do like pop, like current. It's kind of a beholder thing, looking what's out there. Then here's what I saw was out there. The whole eye stuck thing here. Let's see. Let me catch up with you folk. Na. Divine femininity is soft but strong, giving but demanding, dark but light. There seems to be more respect for pieces of paper than experience. The pieces of paper were supposed to be an indication of an experience of an education. There's no way for us to discern that you're an experienced person just because you've survived X number of years, unless there's like scars and missing limbs, and I don't know. Something to make our salience higher, our land salient? What? Yeah, like landscaper folk make you glow. I finally feel like I have all my synopsis back after a deep rest. Have you been having fun with everything? Most definitely, and writing. I've been laughing non-stop for 2 months. Holy smokes, that would be healthy. I mean, that would be cleansing. That would be night driving. Oh, look, guys. It's Gillahan Shimmy. Hello. Well, you see, I don't know if you just got here, Shimmy, but it turns out Peterson is going full bore, like, everybody looks to Jerusalem. So would it not be the proper move of us Peterson fanboys to target our efforts to their time slots? Oh, wait, we're there. I laugh every day, no matter, even if Grim doesn't stream. How much knowledge is lost by turning from experience to books? Well, what type of knowledge is lost by turning from experience to books? How much knowledge is lost by turning away from stores of knowledge from our near past? Stores. See, the thing about humans, you guys, you understand, they operate out of these things called knowledge compartments. And the reason that is so is because we have limited capacity to care, or agency, as some people call it. And so it doesn't really do me any good to know about that horrible thing that's happening to that child in North Korea, or how they have to go pick up poo because they have fertilizer issues. None of that knowledge is at all really useful for me. It's irrelevant to my knowledge, my area of effect, my zone of progress. I don't, and so a lot of what happens on this planet is management of beasts. If the man is consumed by the beast within him, as far as we can tell, he's still a person, right? He still looks the same on the outside, even though he's letting his primal bestial impulses operate and not reining them in and shoving the energy up through the brainstem until it lights up the forebrain, where we can inhibit behaviors and such. And maybe it's because he failed his saving throws. Writing seems like it would improve it more than anything. Yeah, writing is something special. Reading is true. It's really the most fascinating thing to me about reading is the way it's like super hard to do in dreams. Speaking of it, unless it's something that can't be written. What's the difference between awakening and lucidity? So, yeah. I've oft no. Need? No, you didn't need. Never mind. I take it back. Here's branding? Oh yes. Here's something I can't let Pajot forget ever for some reason. Just to give me 30 seconds.
Comics is something that I've been kind of diving into.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
we're working on a comic
awesome.
now. I mean, I'm not the artist. It's someone else. But I wrote it with my brother, and so yeah, I'm excited to see. I think the potential of comics is really great for someone who's interested in symbolism, and it's been taken by the dark side, I would say. You've got people like Alan Moore, who's just has such an amazing grasp on laying out of symbolic structures within a page, and so it's like I just see him as my nemesis or something. Like we need to take that back.
That's what you're shooting for. Nice.
Got to shoot high because he's really good. He's really good at doing that.
Totally. Yeah.
And now, a book once sent to me by my mysterious benefactor. we don't talk about those days very often. This is really long, bro. Yeah, I know, it's a book. I'm not gonna read it. Here's something from the stolen journals. He puts them at the front of every chapter of God Emperor. Okay. If you know all of your ancestors, you were a personal witness to the events which created the myths and religion of our past. Recognizing this, you must think of me as a myth maker. It's from a guy who turned into a giant worm. He says weird things. What? How is that's Red Pill? I don't know what to do with you. We do want what's best for you because, okay, this is year 3 of LARPgate. The first year, in an alternate timeline, they were firing up the CERN underneath Waxahachie, Texas, because in that timeline it was completed. So the goal of LARPgate year 1 was to go to Waxahachie, Texas on Talk Like a Pirate Day, which is the official year demarcation of LARPgate years, and do the movements from the OA so that when they fired it off in that other place, some of the souls that were going to be destroyed or what lost or whatever would come into this place. And then that March, Sylvia had those 5 kittens. So clearly, and then season 2 was the notion was that everybody breaks their NDA on Talk Like a Pirate Day. And it was like, so blow your whistle in a she shanty, baby, and all your dreams will come true. And then I don't know anybody did blow their whistle in the form of a sea chanty. And we weren't really sure what a sea chanty was. So, but we did manage to write, we all know that there is no agency, any living gent can see that doing what is right for me. Wait, I don't know. This is not, I'm very tired. You guys know it, right? You guys know it. Banish? Who's been, what ban? Oh, banish him for not trusting the agency? No, mistrust is encouraged. Like, if there's not enough mistrust in you, then you flag yourself as a double or quintuple agent working for multiple non-agencies instead of the agency, which there is no agency. I hope the North Korean kiddo is having a nice day too. Hi, good to see you, Arlen. We can send him thoughts and prayers. Let's see. That was as far back in the past I could get, but so just because it needs to be dug up. I'm gonna find the link to the Woke Water ISIS set one, because Chad played it in his deconstruction of me, but some people don't watch Chad, and then the people who only watched my deconstructed coverage of me would not get the whole, and like the Woke Water ISIS set was really probably what cemented me as a player in the corner. Maybe I don't know. It was a good one. It's got the important stuff. But since it's pretty far down there, you can have this instead. It's only 30 seconds. Could be all right.
It attempts to distill.
It's an attempt to address combinatorial explosiveness by trying to express an essence. That's what titling is. Because if you just go for clickbait, you know, Paul's nipple rings, that might get some clicks. The thumbnail would probably put people off.
The thumbnail for that one is wait, where'd it go? What are you doing? Oh, you're not scrolling all that way again. Just share this other tab you have it open. There it is. There it is. That's what the thumbnail for the PVK rings to bind them. That's the nipple. That's the nipple ring. Oh, this one looks good. See, look at I got good titles, bro. The PVK pop-in promo, the Nest of Vipers incident, the relationship with water, all the Aspies. Those are good. Let's see. That's that long distillation of the first part of the Four Horsemen thing. This one might explain Larpgate some.
Strangest thing in the world. Like, who would have thought that Darwin would bring Plato back? We need purposes in order to encounter the world. Purpose to me as a human being. And that actually scales the hierarchy of purposes, even in terms of science, right? People think that science is just the study of phenomena. We always forget that science is embedded into social systems, and that
unfortunately, even that much of that is gonna get me a flag. We have to do it ourselves. Apparently, I've made a lot of videos, and this isn't even counting the live streams. This is a separate tab of the ones that are videos now.
I won't say the name, but a couple of the people that are amongst the most powerful people in the world in terms of high finance have basically quoted almost all of this to me verbatim in conversations as how they see the world. And they said, you know, either, like, basically apex predators define the topology of the space. And so either you're the apex predator or somebody else is, but the apex predators are going to be the one who run shit. And if you don't like that, you just won't be one of the ones who run shit. One of the guys said pretty directly, said, all animals are either predators or prey. And predators don't feel bad when they kill prey. And if you feel bad when the prey humans die, then you just said what kind of animal you are, and that animal doesn't run the world. And of the predators who don't make it to alpha apex, they also aren't the ones whose genes really go and run the world. And if you don't like the way that alpha apex are, it won't make any difference because they'll still be the ones who run the world. You just won't be part of it.
To continue the conversation, understanding two things. Number one, when lately I've been talking about the upper and lower register.
Right. And his beard used to be at this upper register, and now his beard is at this lower register.
When you undergo a transformation, I think sort of the upper half of the two-world mythology in a person must sort of tie it to the, existentials, to the ultimates, to the absolutes. And it's just sort of what we do. And another factor, sort of your, it's not reciprocal, it's the two opponent processing. So on one hand, the absolute pulls us, and on the other hand, the contextual pushes us.
Yes.
And so, but those tensions are always there in us. And so part of the bigger conversation in the midst of continual transformations are, okay,
how can we assess? How can we sort of get reckoned from below? We're watching these transformations. Wonder about what is real, and I don't mean as a cafe, philosophical discussion as you spoke of that. You feel onto normativity. You start to really.
How dare you, sir? How dare you, sir? After you feel enough onto-normativity, you end up in a cafe trying to explain what it's like to feel real to people in a cafe, smoking a cigarette. Jeez. The beard lengthens with his wisdom, or something. I found it. Here, ladies and gentlemen, is the terribly impressive Woke Water ISIS set, or at least pieces of it that you might not have seen.
However, use occasional
Oh, that's Paul's clipped it out and I read it there. But where is this part? There, this part.
views that it's really just ISIS.
Why is Osiris old and willfully blind? Because that's what culture is. It's a paternal spirit that's old and willfully blind, and it's always that way, always that way. And the reason for that is because it's a construction of the dead. The dead aren't alive. They can't, so they're out of date, and they can't update themselves anymore. And you inhabit their corpse, or he's old and he's willfully blind. He won't look where he knows he should look. He doesn't have the energy, or maybe he doesn't have the spirit. His brother Seth is not a good guy. And Osiris knows it, but he underestimates his malevolence and power. Every stable society is threatened by willful blindness and malevolence, always. Osiris turns a blind eye to Seth. Seth is happy about it. One day waits for Osiris to make a mistake and to be weak, and he attacks him and he chops him up into pieces. And he distributes the pieces across the entire Egyptian state.
You might not recognize it as Seth, but I want to read you something. A few months before I was born, my dad met a stranger who was new to our small Tennessee town. From the beginning, Dad was fascinated with this enchanting newcomer and soon invited him to live with our family. The stranger was quickly accepted and was around to welcome me into the world a few months later. As I grew up, I never questioned his place in our family. Mom taught me to love the Word of God. Dad taught me to obey it. But the stranger was our storyteller. He could weave the most fascinating tales, adventures, mysteries, and comedies with daily conversations. He could hold our whole family spellbound for hours each evening. He was like a friend to the whole family. He took Dad. Has to leave. More than 30 years have passed since the stranger moved in with the young family on Morningside Drive. But if I were to walk into my parents' den today, you would still see him over in a corner, waiting for someone to listen to him, talk, and watch him draw his pictures. His name? We always called him Set. Television set.
Seth distributes his Osiris all over Egypt, so he can't get himself back together. Right? Things fall apart and they can't be brought back together. But the spirit of Osiris still lives in the pieces. So what happens? Order is demolished. What would you expect? Chaos emerges. That's Isis. Isis is queen of the underworld. She's Osiris's wife. Order and chaos, just like the yin and the yang. Order collapses, up comes the queen of the underworld. She's looking for order. Chaos cries out for order. She's looking for order. She goes all around Egypt trying to put Osiris back together. It's a state of chaos.
A snap, crackle, pop. I forgot to do the woke water bit. The woke water bit is this wokeism phenomena. It's coming through the water. And by water, I mean the black screen altar of Set. These children of the screen have been born in the water, and so they cannot recognize it. And over the years, we've been evolutionarily getting better and better at training our people through these black screen altars to be advertiser friendly. And that is the key to the wokeness. You must be advertiser friendly. And Anyway, they can't tell the water of propaganda and advertising because they grew up in it. And so until they learn to see the water, they will be as woke as the screens tell them to be.
She finds
worldview. He talks about it this way, and think about how this just sings to everything we've been doing here.
And your situational awareness, the states of consciousness you get access to, ultimately depend on your character.
Well, that's a lot to swallow.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to scuttle back to my power claim.
And then that, of course, makes sense, too, if you think about we have to care about the conditions that make any caring possible. Mind is not programmed software or rule-bound manipulation of symbols. Instead, the mind, right, arises through immediate coping with the world. Coping with the world, the way we are evolving the sensory motor loop, right, so that we deal with we deal with the problems at hand. To be an intelligent cognitive agent is to have this, right, ongoing, evolving fittedness, the coping with my immediate interactions with the world. I think we should ultimately see agape as our deepest appreciation for the caring that is intrinsic and constitutive to the relevance realization that makes both the agent and the arena possible.
Excuse me. What we're doing here now today is someone has accused me of being just part of a human centipede. And so I'm going to rebut. I have a rebuttal and I'm making it now. So here we go. First you have to understand that's the shed. For the purposes of this rebuttal, you have to understand the flash of light. Okay? Can you understand the flashing of a light going flash, right? Now, the light goes, you see whatever it shows you, and then it is dark again. Okay? You with me so far? Now, if you take the sun and how long it's going to shine and how long it's been shining and stretch that out over infinity, it is but a flash of light, okay? And so life is what happens during the flash of light. Okay, that is life. Life is the thing that is going to fade out constantly. The darkness is constantly coming, trying to destroy everything it is. Okay, and what it does is it eats itself in order to live and experience the momentary life flash it has. But that's what life does. It eats itself. Like everything you eat that actually does you any nourishment, it was a life. Okay, it was life eating. You are part of life eating itself. And if you want to call that a fucking human centipede, it's a human centipede, but
a new set of resources at its disposal and comes together again. Okay, telerecursion is adaptive. When things happen that are not necessarily in accord with a certain telon, the telon adapts to the new set of resources at its disposal and comes together again, approaching the same final outcome.
Does one have to be adaptive if one is, let's say, incoherent, which I heard you equate evil to?
I didn't equate evil to incoherence. I said evil is incoherent.
Your face is very large for me right now.
Okay, so basically it's incoherent because evil is anti-existence. All right, basically it hates existence and it wants to go out of existence, right? But when you take a bunch of evil and it won't recognize its own existence and it won't recognize the existence of anything else, it's very hard to coordinate. It can't be coordinated, so it becomes incoherent. The only way that evil actually achieves any sort of reality is it uses physical systems to do it. Nucleates physical systems and uses their structure, their power structures, their hierarchies in order to be realized. That's a danger.
So, Red Pill's over in the hive mind. I'm going to play catch up with the hive mind. Oh, aren't you that way? Okay. So he's disagreeing with me and like, where was it? I don't know if I agree that screens and set are the same thing. I don't know that. I can see that you could take that implication from what I said, but anyway, I always thought of set as an external, deliberate, external to what, and like what. I need some clarification on external there, sir, or madam. I don't really know, Red Pill. I think it was then forces about not so good came in. More concern. Who are you to be concerned with my mind, bro? Worry about your own. Are they set too? Their mind. Okay, so it's sort of like that. It was cool that I found that evil clip. It's like evil uses things and to push us toward non-existence, toward entropy, and so that includes people's minds and the televisions and everything we make. I don't know. It seems to be a constant presence on this plane. But this hypnotic spell, like if you go back to like these Truth Stream Media folks who were so kind and highlighted one of my tweets in the video one time, like they covered that, like when the TV stations used to close off for the night, there was like literally the what do they call that when they interlace the scenes in the frames, and so your brain doesn't know you're reading it. Hey, oh, hey there, hey, Anthony. How are you supposed to know what all these emojis are? Is that a rice bowl white heart or a black heart? I don't even know. So this has turned into sort of a limited recursion through my stuff of the stuff that I think would help catch people up. And between this and the deconstructed video, I think I'm ready. If you have questions after that and still want to play after that, then find me in the comments below. That's what those are for, right? Or, and you get a +3 to a saving throw on the next live stream if you do make a comment. Everybody who talked in the Hive Mind chat gets a +2. But it's honor system. You got to keep your own score. So, yes, that was the word. Like, obey the government and pay your tax. I don't know what it was they put in there anymore, but it was, pro-patriotic things, of course, for the good of the people. This mind control, but we're controlling their minds for their own good, guys, not just to make them want our products. I'd like to solve the puzzle.
Do you have anything you want to say in conclusion?
Yes, I'd like to speak to the Pharaoh, and I would like to solve the puzzle. As if life is but a dream, and like in a dream, everything there is important, significant, and a clue. And like the song, Merrily, Merrily, Life is But a Dream. If you wanted to trap divinity, the only way to do it would be with amnesia, right? Anyway, that was the show for tonight, everybody. Welcome, but goodbye. And
God loves me because he sent me Grim Grizz. I know he loves me.
We want what's best for you.